Alright guys, welcome back to Nomad is Vaping. Tonight we're going to be having a look at this thing, the Tony B and Vandy Vape collaborative, the Pulse BF kit. Alrighty guys, we're down on the table with the Vandy Vape Pulse BF kit, a Tony B project. This is of course done by Vandy Vape. Here's your front panel. On the side here you've got a little bit of paraphernalia, you've got all of your usual warnings, made in China. On the top, Vandy Vape. On the side, you've got your socials, your scratch and sniff. Who knows what flavour that is. All your barcodes and stuff. Now, on the back, you've got here locking power safety switch, 2700 and 18650 capacity, compatible, sorry, which is really good. I love 2700s. 8 milliliter food grade silicone bottle, replaceable front and back panels, and your kit contents, which is your RDA, your mod, user manual, drip tip, accessory bag, squonk bottle, and your battery adapter. So let's open this up and have a look. Alrighty, now I do have the frosted green version. I picked this up because, well, hey look, green's cool and my nephew thinks it's awesome. So here you've got your Pulse 24 RDA. Now everybody has seen these before, these are not new, but that drip tip, look at that color, that is just fantastic. Now we're going to have a look at the deck here. Now it's a standard Pulse deck, poseless, which is my absolute favorite, with your little air intakes here. Alright, we've all seen these before. Let's get that top cap back on. Actually, we'll turn that over. Alrighty, now this is your your 18650 sleeve adapter for your 18650s. You've got a black drip tip. We're not even going to use that because that green is just fantastic. Your mod, we'll just have a look underneath. So there you've got all your bag of spare parts. You've got some more spare parts, and you've got your standard Vandy Vape. Yeah, it just keeps going. This is your instruction manual. You don't really need it because if you're going to be using a mech, you already know what you're doing. So we're going to put all of this aside and we're going to concentrate on this. It is just an absolutely fantastic tiny little kit. It's very small, fits really good in the hand. So we're just going to pop these sides off. We're going to have a look at the interior. Now you can see here your black silicone bottle. Now from what I understand, these have gone to black instead of white. Now I do remember when the Pulse first came out, this bottle actually almost sat right here, which I thought was a bit dangerous. But it's good to see that Vandy Vape have actually made the change and made it a little bit smaller and squatter. They still do have this fantastic little safety switch, which I absolutely adore. You've got your nice springy button. You've got your Pulse logo there. Battery connector. All your little magnets. Vandy Vape there. And your nice looking 510 plate. Now guys, what we're actually going to do is we're going to do a build in this one. And we'll catch you up in that next bit, yeah? Alrighty guys, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to do a build in this little RDA here. So now I'm actually going to speed this up as much as possible because who really wants to spend 10 minutes of me sitting here doing a build? So let me just speed this up for you and I'll get back to it. You're next to me, but does this work? 'Cause I know I can't get to you. I like the chase, and I know you do too. Am I just in love with the idea of you? 'Cause I'd cross a million seas. Would you do that for me? Yeah, I'd fly this whole world twice if I could be your paradise.
this work, only 'cause we never say what we think. Waiting for the perfect way. Time zone speak, got me on delay, 'cause across a million seas, would you do that for me?
And there we have my munted, yet coiled and wicked Pulse 24. We'll go back up top, we'll have a bit of a squirt on this and we'll see how good this little kit is. Alrighty guys, so we're back up on looking at my ugly face. We're checking out this little thing, the Pulse BF kit. Now, I'm going to be very honest when I say this, I've never really used a mech mod before. I'm not, I've never really been confident enough. I've only been vaping for a short time, about 2 years, and mechs, I've always stood off and thought, no, I'm not going to go near a mech because I don't trust myself. I'm going to blow myself up. So I took the plunge about 3 months ago and I thought I'll buy it. I bought it. I didn't really look at it. I basically left it in the box and thought I'll get to it eventually. And a couple of weeks ago, I was at a vape meet and a friend of mine said, why aren't you using mechs? You know, you've got all of these, you know, high, you know, mid to high tier devices. You don't really have much low tier stuff. Why aren't you looking at mechs? And I said to him, well, hey, look, I've got a Pulse BF. And he goes, look, I'll make you a set of coils. So I've got a set of coils made. Now, the coil builder, I'm not going to mention by name at this moment because I don't know if he's going to continue it as something that he's going to sell in the future or not. He's just making them for me at the moment. So yeah, that's really it. I got the coils. I decided that I'm gonna have to do it eventually, so here we go. Let's have a look at it. So I built it. As you can see on the table cam footage before, the coils are a bit munted. As I said, my coil builder is only just starting. He's not really huge into it yet, but he does make a decent coil. And I'm not used to building on this deck. I've never built in it before. I don't know what it's about, but hey, that's where it is. So let's have a couple of hits on this and we'll see how it performs. Not bad, not bad. I would hazard a guess to say, now everyone tells me that the higher resistance coils you have, the longer the ramp up time for your battery. Yep, now in this I've got one of the iJoy 2700 5-tab batteries, so they are good. I've had them for about 5 months and to be honest, I don't use them that often. They're usually kept charged and just left to the side. So a couple more hits and then we'll have a bit of a chat about it. And I don't know if you can pick it up, but that whistle from the RDA, I don't know about that. Wow. That RDA is keeping a lot of heat in. This is a new juice I'm working on too. Orange and mango, for all you young people out there that used to, well, young people that used to have it when your parents were sitting around drinking Coke. Okay, let's have a bit of a chat about it. We'll go over the RDA first. First impressions of the RDA, to me, I'm not a fan of it. The whistle really annoys the shit out of me. As you can see, you've just got those standard 2 little air ports on it. they tend to whistle. Great direction onto the coil though. To me though, it feels a little bit turbulent. Now, I know a lot of reviewers say, oh, it's a turbulent RDA, you know, the airflow's turbulent. Well, I'm going to explain how I feel about turbulent airflow. Turbulent airflow to me is something that isn't a clean, straight shot of air. So what I mean is when the air comes into the RDA and hits the coils, it should come up in a direct straight line. This feels like it's moving around a bit too much. Much like the OG Recoil. Now, the OG Recoil is my favorite RDA of all time at this stage. More on that later. The airflow on it is great. It is a little bit on the wavy, wonky side, but I get enough vapor off the coils that I use to not really worry about it. And hey, look, I just turn it up, pour more juice, and away I go. This though, because it's a squonk, because it's... Oh, I love that sound. Hear that? Oh. Beautiful. Beautiful. It's... Yeah, I'm not really a fan of the airflow on this. One other thing I have noticed just in these few pulls is they're starting to get a little bit of juice splatter around the side of it. So, excuse me. As you can see that silver ring, there's actually juice collecting on there. Like it's actually running, it's hitting the top cap and it's running down past the O-ring. I don't like that. It's like the top cap was an afterthought. How about this, Vandy Vape? Why don't we just make the top cap one whole piece? It might be nice. And then just use a different type of airflow. I mean, they're making RDAs like there's no tomorrow. Let's just have a slightly different design on the Pulse 24. Now, people are probably, other reviewers and viewers out there are probably going to rip me apart because it seems like the Pulse 24 is some kind of sacred object. The good points about this RDA, it's black and it's got a matchy drip tip. That's really it for me. Oh, and postless build deck. Postless build decks, if you don't know by now, I absolutely adore postless build decks. So easy to mount and maneuver coils on. Okay, now the actual box mod itself. Now, this is something special. When these first came out and I looked at them, I wasn't really aware of how big they would get. Vandy Vape were the first ones, I believe, that brought out the small single cell, you know, squonk boxes. I think they were. I'm probably wrong, but I think they were. And at that stage, I was watching a lot of reviewers like Vaping with Vic, Empire Vape Co., Jay Hayes, Grim Green, you know, all the rather larger guys, Postman as well, and they all started to get these tiny little squonk boxes, but most of them reviewed this first, the actual the box, not the RDA, and it really started, from what I saw, a bit of a revolution in squonking. Everybody was out making them, and I think some reviewers were reviewing 2 and 3 new devices a week. That to me, that's just intensely insane. Excuse me. Now, good points about this. I love the doors. The doors held on by magnets. They just sit in there. They clip really nicely. You can get them both off. They feel nice. Now, because this is plastic, there's no real machining per se, but the molds that they used are really quite nice. I like the fact that it's got the Vandy Vape here and it's got the little Pulse logo. Very nice, really beautiful. What else can I say about it? The only real downside to this I have is the switch. Now, to me, it feels mushy. When I say mushy, imagine yourself, you're a kid, you've got a bowl full of peas and you've just mashed them up with a fork. and your fork going into the peas or the mashed potato, that's how this button feels to me. It's hard to know where the contact point is. Maybe it's because I've never used a little mechanical box mod like this before. One other thing I forgot to mention that I like is the safety switch in here. This tiny little safety switch. Now, you've all seen this before. I think it's great. My only problem is that it feels like it doesn't line up all the time. But really, if you're a normal person and you're not vaping around small children and you're in your room or you're in your office or you're in your car, you're really not going to be flicking that switch all the time. Other than that, great. I absolutely love it as a box mod, not as a kit. The Pulse 24 is probably going to come off here and just cleaned out, sat on a shelf, and really, to be honest, forgotten about, unless I want something matchy-matchy, but I'm probably going to rip that drip tip and use it on something. I think I've got another couple of black RDAs coming in for review, and I'm going to be ripping this drip tip off. Now let me just see if we can get it off. Yes, we can. Yep, standard goon, or as Jay Hayes would say, Grenady. Hashtag Grenady style drip tip. I absolutely love it. It's going to look really good on some black RDAs, especially on this thing. We're going to have another couple of hits, and then we'll wrap it up. Very, very nice. For my first mech, I absolutely love this. Okay, and my vape nut's going off, so there is a little bit too much vapor in this room. We'll have one more hit. Okay. Alrighty, so we're going to hold now so I can go and grab the next bit, and we can talk about what's coming up next time. Okay. Alrighty guys, thank you very much for joining me for that consumer review of the Vandy Vape Tony B collaborative on the Pulse BF kit. Now, next review is something pretty special to me. Now, this next review isn't going to be a consumer review. It's actually going to be a well thought out, fully tested review, because I've had this device for a little while, and with the company releasing a new mod and being a part of the family that I'm in for this device, I felt that I needed to do a review on it. So my next review is going to be on this, the Squid Industries Double Barrel version 2.1. Now, I love this mod. I can tell you straight away it's going to be an absolutely glowing review. Alright guys, thank you very much for joining me for this one. Click up here and there and wherever it is for previous video and subscribe, and please comment, like, whatever you need to do. Help share the word, get me out there a little bit more so I can bring some more reviews to you. Thanks again for watching guys, and I'll catch you next week.
Just to have you next to me, Paris and Tokyo, I go where I have to go.